I feel like I'm kicking off on Tuesday, a 60 Minutes episode. The story that the Trump administration didn't want you to see. Remember that spiked story from this past Sunday of the torturous conditions in the El Salvadoran Sikot prison? That Donald Trump sent 250 people there claiming they were violent criminals. None of that turns out to be true. And he wanted to kill that reporting, that expose led by 60 Minutes. And Barry Weiss did his bidding. I'm sure it was done at the behest of the Ellison family that owns and controls CBS through Paramount Skydance on behalf of Donald Trump. But a video got out, a 13-minute video got released to this global TV app in Canada. Welcome, Maple Midas Maple. You're helping. The story got out, and other reporters have gotten their hands on it from the 60 Minutes story that got spiked that Barry Weiss didn't want you to see about how these people are being tortured. And the takeaway for me here on Legal AF is some of the statistics quoted by the lawyers representing these men. By the way, the American Civil Liberties Union is representing these men as well. Half of the people in those prisons sent to Sikot had no criminal history. Only 8% had a violent crime conviction. So 92% had no violent crime conviction, and just 3% had any crime, in addition to that, had any crime at all. So Donald Trump didn't want this to get out, but good sleuthing and reporting and First Amendment research has revealed it. Now, Trump and his administration knew what was going on in the prisons there. In fact, a UN watchdog report reported that even El Salvador told the UN that Sikot prison and those 250 people held there for about $4 to $6 million of hard-earned U.S. taxpayer dollars, that was under the control of the United States. So they sent these human beings outside of the U.S. into a black ops center to be tortured. That's the only takeaway that you can make from this investigation. Now you know why the Trump administration has got its hands filled with the Epstein scandal, with the naming of the JFK Performing Arts Center scandal, the ballroom scandal, and every other scandal. I mean, this is Scandalot, not Camelot. You see why they didn't want this coming out at this moment as we march towards 10 months away to the midterm election and his failing poll numbers, because this is a president who knows his time is up. He even operates that way. He can barely get a sentence out without a teleprompter, and even then he starts screaming at the audience. They have to keep him in one hermetically sealed bubble of fan base to the next. And when he's not doing that, he's golfing. The guy's working like 4 hours a day. And then you've got the torture video that he doesn't want released. Now, Barry Weiss for 60 Minutes, who took over recently from a right-wing media platform, she says, I'm defending myself. The reason I didn't release it is because the story's a couple of months old. Everybody knows about the torture. What's the new angle? We couldn't get the Trump administration to give us an interview, so more reporting needs to be done. What a liar. What a liar. Even the reporter for the story leaked her own memo, or the memo leaked, in which she said they spiked the story on purpose, undermining the journalistic integrity of 60 Minutes, which hasn't had journalistic integrity in a long, long time. We demand here on Midas Touch and Legal AF for the full release of the video. It is time for the video to see the light of day on 60 Minutes, fully platformed. Now, the reason we're not seeing it on 60 Minutes, we know the answer to that, because Paramount, Skydance, which owns 60 Minutes, and CBS already cut a deal with Donald Trump once to settle a prior 60 Minutes case involving Kamala Harris in an interview she gave at or around the time of the Super Bowl. Right? And having already settled with Donald Trump once and wanting regulatory approval for the takeover of Warner and Warner Studios and CNN, they don't want to F with Donald Trump. They'll do Donald Trump's bidding. They want to get CNN into a right-wing conservative political spectrum. And so they'll do anything to curry favor with Donald Trump right now, even sacrificing on the altar of their greed any journalistic integrity that's left at the Tiffany Network and 60 Minutes, which I suggest there is none. We're going to continue to follow this story. We're going to continue to demand the release, not of hostages in this case, but of the people in 60 Minutes to release this video to the American people. Now, some people might ask, how do you get these interviews? Where are these people? Are they going into the jail of El Salvador? No, because a little PS here is that Donald Trump, in order to get these people, or continue to get them away from federal oversight, federal jurisdiction of federal courts like Judge Boasberg, the chief judge in D.C., traded those 250 people, except for Abrego Garcia, and sent them to Venezuela and away from the United States and federal court oversight in a prisoner exchange. I thought we're at war with Venezuela. I thought we're doing all sorts of embargoes and trying to figure out a way to bump our battleship into their battleship in order to start a war. I thought that's what we're doing. I didn't realize we're already at the point of exchanging prisoners, sending back enemy combatants, sending back the most violent child rapists. That's because none of these people are that, and the Trump administration knows it. You heard the lawyer for these individuals who said that half of them have no criminal record at all. Their biggest crime seems to be wearing tattoos. I'll follow it. I'm glad you're here. Till my next report, take a minute, hit the free subscribe button below. We're on our march now to 2 million subscribers. Have a great holiday. I'm Michael Popok.
I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.